Right guys, so this video is going to be about basically going from £200 to £250 over the period of 22 to 24 weeks. Now this is going to be someone in their mid-30s who is going to be attempting this, and this is basically going to show you that you don't need to be 21, and if you are someone who's a bit older, or no matter what age you are, that when you start out you can make some serious progress as long as you stick to it and you're consistent with things. So I'm going to take you through like my daily sort of meals now that I'm on the way back up in body weight. So I always start my day with like a morning hydration style drink. So what I put in this is I've got a litre of water there already measured out, and then I get one lemon. It's got lemon, glutamine, creatine and a bit of apple cider vinegar. This Warrior creatine is pretty cool because it goes blue. So I'll have this drink made up the night before, and I will take 3 vitamin C tablets, and it just, like I said, gets your body moving. And genuinely, it does actually taste really good. So I will, now I've done that sort of brief introduction about who I am, what I'm going to try and do. My goal is to get on stage and compete in Classic. So technically we've got maybe 30 pounds of tissue to add before I'm even at the cap. So this should be exciting, but this should be an insight into when you're a bit older. So if there's anyone watching who is like in their 30s or in their mid 30s or even early 40s, who hasn't started out yet, like it's not too late, like you can genuinely make great progress. Anyway, so I will get you back for when I'm preparing my first meal. So meal number one, this is what we've got here, 75 grams of oats. I've just cooked these with water, add a little bit of sweetener. I'm gonna add into this 20 grams of nut butter. I use this squeegee one, which basically, it's like a drizzler. So I highly recommend this because it just mixes so much better. The amount of times where I've used like nut butters where you're just like using crunchy or whatever and you get it out and it basically just stays in a clump, and it doesn't mix that great. Whereas this, literally on the surface, I'll see if you can see. Yeah, it's just, the consistency is just a lot better. So put 20 grams of peanut butter in, 75 grams of oats, 100 grams of raspberries. And because my appetite is pretty high at the moment from just increasing my calories from the diet phase, I've mixed my whey into like a whey paste, just so I can have something separate, just to give it a little bit more volume. So yeah, I'm going to get these down and then I will come back for meal number 2. So guys, here we are, meal 2. This is going to be pre-workout meal. So for my pre-workout, I have 80 grams of raw weight rice, I've cooked up 500 grams of raw rice, which came to 1,610 by the time it was cooked. So I divide that by 50, and then if I want 80 grams of rice, I just times that by 8. So that's giving me 260 grams of cooked weight rice. So this I'm going to add, I've got some prawns here. I just buy frozen prawns, and then literally if you just put them in a sieve, so if you get a sieve and you put it over the top of a bowl of water and just run cold water over it, literally takes like 2 to 3 minutes, and then you can just, they'll be defrosted straight away, so we can put those in. So that is 200 grams of prawns, and to that we are going to add, first of all, a bit of seasoning. So I weigh out my salt for the day just in the morning. This has got some low salt and some pink Himalayan salt. So we'll just add that evenly across the meals throughout the day. There's a little bit of small amount. This will have some salt to it as well, a fajita seasoning, just to make it a little bit more interesting. And then on top of that, we're going to have 100 grams of pineapple as well. Pineapple actually helps with the uptake of carbohydrates, and also it just helps give it a little bit more flavour and texture. Obviously, pineapple on pizza, like that's something that's a big one for debate. So what about pineapple with prawns and rice and fajitas? So then what I'm going to do after that is I'm going to just nuke it again in the microwave. I'll probably train about an hour from now. So 80 grams of raw weight rice 200 grams of prawns, 100 grams of pineapple, salt, bit of seasoning, and some shredded lettuce. I'll touch base with you for the next meal, which will be, I'll prepare my intra and show you how I do that. Right, so intra workout supplement time. So at the moment, I'm using, what I use for a lot of my products is the Train by JP range. So I'm using Sustain, which is basically like a carbohydrate blend. So I use this for replacing glycogen during the workout. So at the moment I am on literally 20 grams of this intra-workout. So I just buy, I think you've got these little funnels from Tesco's, which makes it a lot easier. For years I tried putting them in shakers and then lining the top up and just firing powder everywhere. So yeah, so we do 20 grams of Sustain. I use MPS Max, which is basically like an essential amino acid formula, but it's just got a whole host of other compounds in there which just help with uptake and absorption. I think it's got Himalayan pink salt in there as well, and some other things for hydration. So I'm using 25 grams of that in my intra. And then on top of that, we always use creatine. So we're going to go back to the Warrior creatine, the Blue Raz, which again, this is yellow. To be honest, the Sustain, it gives a yellow, so this will probably actually go green, I reckon, when we mix these together. So I typically start to drink this about just sort of into my second exercise, and then I always aim to finish it about, well, when I've probably got one exercise left, so that by the time I come to eat my post-workout meal, basically my stomach is empty and ready to go. So that is that prepared. Interesting colour combination. So also what I like to use as a pre-workout, but I don't really want any form of stimulants currently. So I actually use this pumpage product, which is called Train by JP Pumpage. So this does actually help, and genuinely, I think sometimes you see a lot of products and you think, oh, it's going to claim to do this, and you take it, and unless it's just like rammed full of caffeine or something like that, you don't really feel any sort of effects with it. But with this, you definitely, or at least I notice it, and I have noticed it, especially when like carbohydrates and things like that have been quite low. It's definitely made a difference in the session. So today we're going to do legs, for example. So this will definitely come in handy in the session, but like I said, when it comes to going to bed later and stuff like that, it's not going to have any negative impacts on sleep. So yeah, this is pre-workout and intra-workout nutrition. Oh, that was heavy, but feeling good after some rest. So yeah, let's smash it, see what happens. Oh. 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 I got heavy really, really quick. Oh. So, when you train calves, the important thing, or what I focus on doing, is when I'm on this machine, I'm like imagining that I'm going to look over a fence. So I'm literally getting to the top and then pushing, like I'm literally trying to squeeze the last little bit out of the rep. And then obviously at the bottom, making sure that you get the stretch. And almost with your foot at the bottom, making sure that you almost like roll your ankle inwards at the bottom in order to get like an even deeper stretch. So when you're at the bottom, you're obviously squeezing up to the top, and then as you come down, rolling that foot inwards so that you're able to get as deep a stretch as possible, and then literally just pump and pump the absolute out of them and get them full and full of blood. When you look at people typically who've got big calves, the one thing they all have in common is they're normally pretty heavy. Look at people who are overweight, they've all got massive calves. It's just hammering. You just got to hammer them and make sure you're stretching and contracting fully, and your calves will grow. Write that one down. Post-workout meal time. So typically post-workout, I have cream of rice. So we're going to do 100 grams cream of rice. I'm using the cherry Bakewell flavour at the moment, which is, to be honest, really nice. I know everybody says that, but this genuinely... Does it taste like you're eating like a Mr. Kipling cherry Bakewell? No, but if it did, it probably wouldn't have the nutritional value that this does. But does it taste good given the fact that it's cream of rice? Yes. Is it satisfying to eat afterwards? Yes. I found the trick to making good cream of rice is using a whisk. And so I've used 100 grams of cream of rice, so I'm going to put in about 400 grams of boiling water. It's 460 grams, but there we go. And I just knocked my coffee over. But yeah, so about 400 grams ish, about 4 times the amount of water. Like I said, I've put in like 460, but it will be fine. And then just whisk it. And then once it starts to get decent consistency, and not any lumps, then you just leave it to one side and let it set. And basically it'll expand as it absorbs the water and it sort of cooks. Now I find doing this method, I haven't got to put it in the microwave at all. I just literally leave it, give it a whisk and let it sit. And yes, I am eating out of like a cooking mixing bowl. But this, to be fair, was from when I used to use cereal post-workout, and when I was pushing my weight up quite high, it gets to the point you'd have like 150, 160, 170 grams of cereal. And if you did that in like Cocoa Pops or Rice Krispies or something, it would genuinely be like up here. So hence using that. So put that to one side, and then we're going to make our whey paste, which we're going to drizzle on top of the cream of rice. So post-workout, we're going to have 50 grams, and I'm using malted chocolate trained by JP Performance Isolate. I didn't actually order this one. I ordered milk chocolate, and when I opened the box, and this wasn't from Trained by JP, by the way, this was from just another supplier, another protein shop. When I ordered this, I ordered milk chocolate, and when I opened the box, obviously it wasn't. It was malted chocolate. So I was a bit. I'm quite set in my ways. So when I like something, I was a bit like, am I going to like this? But in fairness, I'm glad that they sent it because it's actually really nice. So I've done a video on this before about making the paste. So basically, yeah, you just use like a limited amount of water, because if you use too much and it goes too runny, then you're not pulling it back. So we're going to add in our whey paste. Right, so yeah, then we're going to add 100 grams of blueberries to this as well. And yeah, so that is our post-workout meal. Right, so I thought I'd just show you, this is meal number 4. So this in here is 175 grams of chicken, that's raw weight, 50 grams of sushi rice, and we put some shredded lettuce on it as well, and then some salt and a little bit of seasoning. This will be meal number 4. All right, guys, so we're back for meal number 5, and yep, interesting as the last one. This one is same again, 175 grams, sorry, of chicken. That's raw weight. Raw weight is 50 grams of sushi rice. We have some avocado, 50 grams of avocado, and 100 grams of pineapple. And I will probably add a little bit of seasoning to this, and probably some salad once I've nuked it in the microwave. But that is my typical meal number 5 on a training day that is about to go down.